and then lots of work to be done. No place to hang out or washing, and then I can't blame all on the sun. Oh no, we're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show, the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports show. It's your host, David McCaig. It is September the 26th, 2019, and we're here live at Northern Superior Brewing Company inside the tap room, and we're happy they're able to join us here tonight. We are listening to the show on thegamesportshow.com, thegamesportshow.podbean.com, or through our YouTube channel or our social media pages at The Game Sports Show on Facebook and or Instagram. You may have also been directed here through Northern Superior's Facebook page or Pier 55's. Either way, we're very happy that you're able to join us. I have Justin Hykel, Alex Parr, and Brayden Brooks here on the docket here tonight. It'll be Brendan's debut as an analyst. Obviously, he's been on the show as a guest, but now we have Brayden doing some analytical work here on the show and some co-hosting with yours truly. We unfortunately had to do a rescheduling on the Trevor Gillies interview, but we'll definitely get that done within the next week or coming weeks or so. We'll give you an announcement for when that is going to be rescheduled. I want to say thank you to Scott Nason, who will be our board operator tonight. Yours truly, his assistant board operator. And here tonight on the show, we're going to talk local hockey at its entirety in this first part with myself, Justin, and Alex. And after the break, it'll be myself, Justin, and Brandon getting into some NHL discussion. And if we have time, we'll get into some roundtable discussion, Will, Justin, Brandon, and myself. Don't hesitate to follow Soo online and on TV, on social media platforms as well. And also don't be afraid to check out ESPN 1400's Stream Link. Or check them out on radio. I know a lot of individuals like to look at their phones now on Spotify and do everything through the podcast, which is probably the most obvious way you're listening to us right now, but don't hesitate to look into live radio and check out ESPN 1400. And thanks to all of our sponsors here on the Game Sports Show. So last night we had an edition at Sports Center, did myself, Justin, and Matt Primo, and Tom Ennett was our guest there on the show yesterday from Sports Center Bar and Grill. You can check that out on the Podbean page or through any of our website or social media outlets. And also we had editions on Tuesday and Monday this week. We're full bore again from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and obviously live on location all weekend for everything local as well. So can't keep us down here on the Game Sports Show, always doing something, so we're very happy that you're able to make us a part of your night tonight. And a little fun announcement tonight, the Mayor's Cup League gets underway tonight. I got to give a little shout out to Channy. He does a great job with that Mayor's Cup League. I'm going in my second year in the league officially. It'll be Brandon's first full year. Brandon and I will be enemies against each other this year. The Game Sports Show has unfortunately folded this year after an appearance in the finals and losing to Bucci's last year. They split up, did the young kids and the older guys. The Hitmen, who's the team I'm a part of, Brooksy, will be with the Bugs this year. It's an action-packed league and it's fun. A lot of ex-junior players, former pros. It's a very competitive league. We play the Rankin, the McMeekin, sometimes the GFL, the Pee-wee during the Mayors, and also the Rhodes all over. So check out the NOJHL website if you ever want to check out some men's league hockey. Give them a little promotion. Now, fellas, without further ado, Justin, going to go to you first and introduce you, my friend. How are you?
Not bad. I feel like I've seen you every day this week.
Yeah, you getting sick of me yet?
Well, I'm going to be not brutally honest and say, no, it's going great.
You can only take me in doses, apparently. That's why Alex couldn't come Wednesday, and that's why Alex didn't come on the show Tuesday.
See? I'm smart.
Yeah.
I think ahead.
So, Dave, I can't make it Tuesday, man. I got something today.
I got that thing.
I got a taco night with my grandparents.
And guess what? Those tacos, oh my goodness. Dave, I love you, but I think I love my grandparents' tacos just a bit more.
And
just
that
a bit more.
That beautiful voice you're hearing is Alex Parr. I should say, how are you?
Well, I mean, you kind of just chirped me to start the show, so I'm doing okay.
You did miss a funny show on Tuesday with Soo Means making his debut on our show.
So I hear. How'd that go?
It went well. I think the show overall was, well organized on mine and Justin's part.
Look at my facial expression in the picture. It'll tell you.
Okay.
Soo Memes will be doing the odd random appearance. It's going to be a surprise. We don't want to overuse Soo Memes. We're very happy he's able to join us on the show. I think that's just a funny take on our TV side of the show. It'd be funny if we're doing an interview with somebody and he just shows up randomly.
Yeah, the day he followed me on Instagram, I knew I made it somewhere in Sault Ste. Marie. So.
Yeah, he figures he made it somewhere too. So
yeah, I got a follow the other day. I was like, wow.
I know.
Yeah, look at that. And everyone's got to stop messaging me because I will not tell you his name. I cannot. That is the only thing I would do. I won't even tell my own parents or girlfriend his name. So
I don't know his name.
Besides that, you're not allowed to know his name, and I can't say it because that's just secrecy. He's the face of the Soo and private for a reason. Just give him a follow on Instagram. Now, further ado, let's go into local sports. Let's start it off right now. And we're going to go in and talk about the Soo College schedule. I'm going to go over to Alex in just a few seconds here. I'm going to go through what's going on outside of men's hockey. On Friday, September the 27th, ACHA women's ice hockey, Sault Ste. Marie College Cougars will be at Adrian. That is Friday. And on Saturday the 28th, the Sioux girls are going to be in action at 11 a.m. against Adrian again as well. And then for soccer, women's soccer, Sioux will be in Seneca, and the men's soccer will be playing in Seneca at 3 o'clock. Now on Sunday, you'll have women's soccer playing at George Brown, and then the men's soccer playing at George Brown at 12 and 2 o'clock, respectively. Alex, for hockey.
For the men's side of things, the 27th, which is tomorrow, will they be listening to this Friday?
Yeah, well, for the most, some tonight, some tomorrow.
Okay, well, the 27th, we'll say that. Friday the 27th, Sioux College is taking on Trine University Friday, as well as 2 o'clock the following Saturday. So you've got a chance. If you can't make it Friday, you can't make it Saturday, you got your options.
They started 2-0 on the season. Great start to their season. Obviously, Ryan Vetterman didn't miss a beat.
No, that team doesn't look like they missed a beat. It does not look like they jumped up a division so far. I mean, their 5-2 opening game win was probably one of their closer games in the last 365 days, and then they blew them out 10-1 the next day. It wasn't their homecoming, probably less fans, less jitters, and I think that just goes to show you how good this team still is.
Good atmosphere in the rink, too. I love
Great
that rink.
atmosphere.
One of my favorite rinks in the Sioux.
I was impressed by the light show.
Yeah, I was too. I didn't think they'd go that far.
Blown away.
The only thing that really bothered me is I'm trying to take photos, and they had a smoke machine, and the smoke took forever to dissipate in the air.
The dry ice, I believe it. Was it, or was it actual smoke?
I didn't ask.
Was it dry ice?
I didn't ask. No, it was a machine, so it's not going to be real smoke.
Oh, I
right?
thought they would have the dry ice going and everything out there.
It's just people smoking outside, and they opened the garage door for the Zamboni, and it came in.
It comes through, yeah.
And they obviously have good food there, too, at the rink, and great atmosphere, and all in all in general. And I think Sioux College has found their home rink there. It's a good, respectful place to play hockey, and obviously a great rink. And Sioux College is up for, let's say, another good year. They're defending Division III champs. They're not going to be defending that crown because now they moved up the league. But I think they're going to have a lot more stiffer competition as the year goes on. I think there's some more teams in the league based on what I've heard from scouts in the league, that there are some comparable teams in the league. Now, that will remain to be seen because they're a pretty good powerhouse, as you would say, with Sioux College, and their hockey program is definitely ascending. So moving on from Sioux College, that's been the Sioux College Athletics. You can check out their website or the Facebook page. They're all over that. Oh, yeah. And obviously with Paul Rossetti being the athletic director there, he's doing a great job. I know Tom Mannett talked very highly about him. So check out Sioux College. They're doing fantastic. Going to the other school that we have here in Sault Ste. Marie. It's called Algoma University. Okay, they don't have a hockey team, unfortunately. It's something that they've always wanted to get. But the rule is with Algoma University, if you have one of one gender, you need to have the other. So that has kind of been the philosophy there. So it worked out for Sioux College. Maybe one day Algoma U will have that, because I know they'd be getting some good talent with the hockey team there as well. But you have Algoma U. You can check out Daniel Scarpino's amazing articles on our pages this week with the analysis from last weekend and with the Premier League. But right now, they're going to the halfway point of the year, and the Thunderbirds currently sit at 0-6. Next action for the Thunderbirds will see them take on Brock Badgers in a pair of home games at Superior Heights. Both games will take place Saturday, September the 28th, and Sunday the 29th. Both games will kick off at 3 o'clock. And then obviously the women's will be playing as well in that weekend as well. It'll be before the men's games at 1 o'clock. So overall, the men's soccer is going well there for Algoma U in terms of their progression. Obviously the wins haven't been great. The women's got their one win this year. But Scarpino, when you have individuals like that who are dedicated to the program, can't go wrong.
No, definitely not. I mean, we touched on this Tuesday on the show. And as long as you got people that are willing to show up and encourage the players day in, day out, week in, week out, you got the basis to build a good program there. And they do have good players. I've gone out to a game myself, after reading Scarpino's write-ups. I mean, I had to get out and check it out. That guy can write, man. Those are masterful.
You can check out those articles on the Game Sports Show Facebook page, as well as Sioux Online's page. I know that will be up by tomorrow, which will be Friday, September the 27th. And TGIF for sure. This has been a long week. My parents are actually in Italy. I've been house sitting for a couple weeks, and they come back tomorrow. I don't know if I'm too excited. I wish they could stay for another couple of days. I kind of like having the house to myself here. Not going to lie.
You want them to
They're going to hear
themselves.
this, and they're going to probably rush home even quicker.
Do they listen to every show?
I don't think as loyal as Matt Primo's mom.
Not as many listens as Primo's mom.
Oh, Primo's mom, yes. Oh, yes. We have a lot of loyal fans. It's nice. We obviously appreciate everyone that listens, but I would say Matt Primo's mom got my parents defeated quite easily.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Shout
big
out.
promoter, yeah, big shout out for her. She shares everything, likes everything.
My goodness.
She participates in contests. Unfortunately, she hasn't won one yet. I can't make her win one now, especially by saying
now
that.
if she wins the next one, people are going to come back to this.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to be
right
fishy.
here.
Yeah, so we might have to get somebody else to draw that or maybe send her a little thank you card. But moving on from that, for sticking to the ice, so obviously the Sault Thunderbirds are in action tomorrow, which is Friday. So if you listen to this on Friday, so that'd be today, they are on the road this weekend. They play Hearst on Friday at 7 o'clock. They play Cochrane on Saturday at 7, and they also play Timmins at 2 o'clock on Sunday, a full 3-game weekend. That road trip's hard. Been there as a player with them. You go there, but it's nothing better than just being away with the guys, and the things, secret stuff in the hockey locker room on road trips will never be discussed ever on the show. But, you have a good time being on the road, right? And the Thunderbirds, I think, need this road trip, some team unity and get everything together because they're on a little bit of a struggle. They lost against the Eagles in a shootout. They on Sunday, they did win on Saturday. That's kind of not the start that they wanted, but due to suspensions and injuries, it hasn't been perfect for the Birds. But I think this weekend they have an opportunity, Alex, to get back in the win column.
Let's hope so, eh? I mean, at first when we talked about the Thunderbirds when they came on, or when we did the show, they dropped a couple games back-to-back. I think you guys were ready to hit the panic button. Has that changed at all? Because you go, that's never happened to Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds don't lose 3 games in a row.
T-Bot doesn't lose 3 games in a row. But you have, right now, when I was talking to Trevor Zachary, obviously GM with the Thunderbirds and obviously involved with Northern Spirit Brewing Company, who's a partner here, obviously, because we're here doing the show, that they had a lot of injuries and a lot of suspensions to deal with, and he didn't want to use as an excuse, though. So I'm not going to go into further extent the comments, but he was positive that this team's going to turn around. You have John Parko, you have some good coaching staff there, and it's the Thunderbirds.
Exactly. I was going to say, look at the program we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the Thunderbirds.
And of course, we always talk about Sioux Eagles on the show as well, especially with Scott Nason over in our American version of the Game Sports Show. The Sioux Eagles are off this weekend. They play next Friday. They play against the Sioux Thunderbirds at home, and then they play Elliott Lake, and then they're not off. Then they're off to the following Thursday. So that is kind of the border battle will be continuing there. But the Blind River Beavers, okay, I've talked about it on this show on the TV side. I've talked about it on the radio side Mondays and last week. The Beavers are on fire. And Kyle Breck is doing some wonders with that program. And at the end of the day, a couple years ago, this team did not even win a game. Okay, they were 0-51-1. That is Manitoulin Islanders territory. Okay, even worse. And then Kyle Brick comes in, a little bit of change, and that's no Donnie Gandhi and Jim Cappy were part of them. Not giving them a part that's not even close to being their fault. They just couldn't get the guys. They weren't able to be attractive to a lot of players to go there. But now, ever since that they've made these turnaround, they've been a team that people want to go to, and the community is craving for a championship. They get over 700 plus a night. They can. That Blind River community is amazing. They are really popular, and they're 5-0-1 to start the season, which is second in the NOJHL in overall standings. Powassan leads on the eastern side, and Rayside started 5-2. Our friend of the show, Joe Bowen, his son David Bowen's the netminder there with Rayside. That West Division's looking tight this year, Justin, with the Thunderbirds, Beavers, and Canadians, Eagles. Espanola is a great team. Elliott Lake, and then obviously over on the other side, Cochrane and Powassan, Hearst. All those teams are fantastic.
It's been an interesting opening month, that's for sure. I mean, there's a lot of teams that aren't where I expected them to be.
Yep.
Right now, just to touch on the Thunderbirds a little bit, I think this weekend's going to be a real test of their mettle. Yeah. Friday night's a rematch from the final last year.
Yep.
That would get most teams going. Yep. So, it's a really good opportunity to get them fired up to get 3 wins over the weekend.
You got Timmins and Hearst, they're 4-1. You have Cochrane, that's 3-4. Thunderbirds are 3-3.
Well,
it's definitely a good test.
You pull off this weekend, you're back in it as far as the standings go.
Yep, you are, and I think the Thunderbirds are definitely, that is their goal, and they have the opportunity to do that.
What time do they play Saturday again?
So they play Saturday at 7 o'clock.
And they turn that around at 2 the next day?
The next day, and that is how it goes in the NOJHL. I remember making the trip against Kirkland, North Bay, and Abitibi were the teams. And the Igloo was a place to play in Abitibi, let me tell you. But we don't have to go about when I played. It's just, overall, it's always been that way in the NOJHLs where we've had that road trip, funding, budget, everything all comes into that, and they get all 3 games in at once. It is a big turnaround, though.
Hey, Justin, did you know Dave played in the NOJHL?
I've heard.
The NHL?
I've heard once or twice.
No, so they've made that turnaround a lot. I really think that 2 o'clock is tough. You have 7 and 7 Friday, Saturday, 2 o'clock Sunday. I think it would almost make sense to have it at 3 or 4, give it that extra hour or 2. But again, you got to travel home.
Yeah, exactly.
And from Timmins, you're looking at 7-8 hours-ish, around that area.
It's not a thrilling drive either.
No, and in the winter, it's absolute garbage. That highway sucks. The snow sucks. then you got concerns with safety and parents. It's just an issue. So the game should be done by 5. They get home by 1 or 2 in the morning is by usual. They can't really stay another night because Monday people have to work. People got full-time jobs. So moving on from the Thunderbirds and NOJHL, you can check out all that action. Hockey TV will have that for you, and obviously the Game Sports Show will keep you covered as the season goes on with the NOJHL, as well as NCAA, which I'm much give a nice shout out to. With the Lakers are going to be playing the game in the GFL Memorial Gardens. We're partners with all the local teams here in town. It'd be very cool to cover and do a coverage of a game there with LSSU at the GFL Memorial Gardens. You can check out that interview on our Soo Online edition from Tuesday's show. But moving on to the Soo Greyhounds in general. The Greyhounds play tomorrow, which is Friday, against the Kitchener Rangers. The Game Sports Show will be in attendance, obviously, for that. They play against the Kitchener Rangers, 7:07. Saturday, 7:05 against Saginaw. So Saginaw, that's a big matchup. Saginaw is a very good hockey team, and they're one of the favorites going into the season this year. But the Greyhounds overall, you couldn't ask for a better start in the season. Right now, you don't have Barrett Hayton there. You have some local, some question marks on the Hounds, do you? But I don't have any question marks. I know a lot of people are like, I don't think they're going to be able to keep it up. A lot of individuals I've talked to. This is a good hockey team here, Alex.
Every year. We said this exact same thing last year, and I think we said it the year before. The only question, I guess, left to answer is Barrett Hayton. And the more I read about how he's been doing in preseason, the less I think he's coming back.
He's going to be a good centerman for Phil Kessel this year. I've said that from the start.
I've read a few articles that think that he might be a better offensive acquisition than Phil Kessel, and I think that's a little outlandish.
Wow.
But the
Don't tell Justin that. Justin's getting a little excited over. He's a big Kessel.
Relax.
Things Rick Tocchet said, though, about him, he's loved him. He said he's picking up a lot of things very quickly, and Hayton's feeling good himself. As time goes on, I don't know if he's coming back anymore.
See, Arizona's had this problem, though, and when Brooksy gets in, we'll talk about development with Brooksy in general, but when you rush a player in today's game, and it would have been awesome to have Trevor on to talk about this today's game, but we'll definitely, when we have him on, we'll get more detail. But today's game is a young man's game, is what people are saying, because of the speed, because of the way the game's different. When Wayne Gretzky was on the ice, Marty McSorley wasn't too far behind him, and if someone touched Wayne Gretzky, you're getting your ass planted in the seats. All right, you're done. You're never playing hockey again. Probably know how Pat Quinn leveled Bobby Orr. That wouldn't have happened. Okay, Pat Quinn would have been the same state Bobby Orr was in if Marty McSorley was on the ice protecting Bobby Orr. So you don't see that, though, anymore. Sure, you see the guys grab and, protect, but usually now you have kids like Auston Matthews looking over to see what name is on that guy's back and chirping this way, not a lot of fisticuffs. But I would say that Barrett Hayton I want to say he's going to stay, and I have said that, so I'm going to stick to that. But something tells me that him returning isn't too far-fetched, because it is a young man's game, and that's probably why he's going to stay and how the young kids are really flourishing in the NHL. But if Arizona was smart, they've had a lot of bad history rushing youth, including Dylan Strome. Now look how he's doing in Chicago. He's absolutely lighting up. Why rush this? You're probably not going to be a playoff team this year. You might be a wild card team. Why not give it that one additional year, save that entry-level deal, okay, and then get Barrett in next year. But again, I'll say again that I think Barrett is going to be up there.
They're definitely going to give him regular season looks.
Yeah, he's getting a 7.
I don't know if he makes the full 10 game to count as a first year, but
yep.
I think he's going to get some looks, and then maybe some end of the year looks as well.
Yeah,
we definitely we got to make him a T-shirt though that just says "Feed Phil."
Feed Phil.
That's a good one.
So the Hounds, though, this weekend, fellas, the big games go without saying. Do you want to continue that hot stretch? Kitchener is not as good as Saginaw, in my opinion, but still 2 tough matchups this weekend.
Yeah, 2 tough matchups back-to-back. I just want to see Jaromir Pitlick keep doing what he's doing.
He's a first-round pick in the NHL this year.
Like I say, every time I talk about him, from the moment I saw him play, I'm like, from the first time he came over from, I believe it's the Czech Republic. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Came over late.
Yeah, came over late,
yep.
And he has been just as good as I thought he would be. I think he's been the first and second star of the game, or 2 first stars back-to-back. So,
yeah. And Saginaw's 0-1 to start the year. They're missing some guys right now that are going to be returning, and it's still early in the year. Erie's 2-0. Sudbury is a team that I'm looking for in the East to probably be a top team in the East, next with Ottawa and even Barrie this year. But
isn't that weird to say? Sudbury going to be a top team?
Wouldn't that be amazing to see the Hounds and Sudbury in the finals against each other? But I know that's going to be hard for the Hounds as the year goes on, especially with you have Flint, who's very much improved, and obviously Saginaw. And London's London, but they started the year 0-2. The OHL has been an interesting start. But I think the Hounds are for real, and Marek Malik is going to do exactly what Pitlick did. Marek Malik, that's his father. But that's his father. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Malik, they draft him as an import this year. Sorry, and I think he will come over at the halfway point. And Justin's laughing at me.
Justin's cracking up. He's trying to keep himself
Merrick Malik
composed.
became a goalie now, Justin.
I'm just imagining the Hounds trying to sneak that one in the lineup.
But I think it's gonna be the same story as Pitlick. He comes over the halfway point, but that would make it interesting because they have a crowded crease right now.
I don't think Prop's losing that job. I really don't see it happening. I don't think you trade for an overage goalie to say, hey, we have this import who's never touched the ice in the OHL yet. Yeah, you're going to be behind him. I don't think they do that.
No. And it's Nick Malik, by the way, and I know it's Nick Malik.
Nick Malik, okay.
It is Nick Malik.
Did not know he was Merrick Malik's son.
Yeah,
So
Merrick Malik's
fun
son.
fact.
There you go. I think Ethan Taylor might be the odd guy if Nick wants to come over, but it'd be interesting to see.
Don't want to see that happen to a local guy, but
no,
got to put the best team out there.
Yeah, we do, and I'm not saying, but Ethan does have the talent to be in the OHL. So it'll be interesting to see as the year goes on. The Hounds, again, Friday here at the GFL Moground, 7:07. Saginaw, Saturday, 7:05. Sudbury comes to town next weekend, which will be a very good game. And the Game Sports Show will be on scene to cover everything you need to know about the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. This has been David McCaig, Justin Hykel, Alex Parr inside Northern Superior Brewing Company's tap room. We're going to get to our first break. And believe it or not, this is right on time. I don't know how the hell this happened. We're never really on time. But we're going to take our first break. And it's actually going to be our only break because we're going to have 2 parts to tonight's show, potentially. And Alex, we're going to let you go, because I know you got to get up early and cover for Luann.
Yes.
You're covering for Luann, and you have the morning show
Doing
tomorrow.
the morning show this week?
No, not doing the morning show. They just got
okay.
me for news. Tim's been getting some special celebrity guests to fill in this week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got some good content going. Check out Soo Online on TV for all that. So we're going to let Alex go. Alex, thanks for coming on by, and we'll be in touch. And
Time to hop in the jammies and head to bed, boys.
There you go. That's a little early. I don't go to bed if I have to work
Yeah,
at
your
6 to 1.
Packers are playing tonight.
I got to get up at 5. So I'll probably be in bed by sleeping by 10. For sure.
Midnight.
No
1
NHL
o'clock.
tonight for you.
Never.
No NHL 20 for you tonight, I don't think.
No NHL 20 tonight, but I will leave an open invitation to any listeners who want to get absolutely crushed.
Oh, and that's not to me, listeners. He didn't say or hosts because he knows that I would.
The thing is, he's like, oh yeah, like I never lose, but never asks to play. So I'll leave on that note. I'm taking the headphones off. I'm not listening anymore.
Dave actually doesn't have an online membership.
I do actually.
He never loses.
I got a $30 withdrawal, and I didn't know PS4 did that. And I was kind of like, fuck.
the automatic.
Like, yeah, I could have got beer for that or something.
You should just buy the yearly one. Not be cheap.
I'm pretty. That's where the Italian side of me comes out. I'd like to save money, and I'm not sure. I'm actually I can say that because I have that in me. But anyways, we're taking a break. Me, Justin will be back. Brandon will be in with us to get part 2 of today's show. Be right back after these messages. The Game Sports Show is pleased to shout out a partner, additional home, and sponsor to Northern Superior Brewing Company, located on 50 Pym Street in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Northern Superior Brewing Company having a strong presence locally with many beers to offer. With much involvement in the community of Sault Ste. Marie, Northern has a sport and friendly-like atmosphere within its tap room, and during the summer months, it is a must to visit Pier 55 to enjoy some delicious food, amazing view of the water, and view of the Bush Pulling Museum right on the cusp of the Hub Trail, and of course, all of that down with a delicious brew from Northern Superior. Northern Superior Brewing Company. It's a Northern thing.
You can follow The Game Sports Show on Facebook and Instagram at The Game Sports Show.
The Game Sports Show wants to thank its original home, partner, and sponsor since 2015, Sports Center Bar and Grill, named the Sioux's best sports bar for 3 years in a row. Sports Center Bar and Grill is located on 624 Wellington Street West in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Make sure to come on down to Sports Center to enjoy the great atmosphere with great cold beverages available, including those delicious Molson products. Don't forget about their famous 75-cent wing nights on Wednesdays. They're truly the best wings in town. Like and follow Sports Center on Facebook at Sports Center SSM. We look forward to seeing you today. Sports Center Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Hi, this is Colin Miller, NHL defenseman, and you're listening to The Game Sports Show.
Hey, it's Frankie Palzies, former professional goalie and current goaltending coach, and you're listening to The Game Sports Show.
This is Andy Frost, and you are tuned into the only regional sports show in the Twin Saults, The Game Sports Show.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to The Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show, the Twin Saults' only local, regional, and national sports show. It's your host, David McCaig, and I am rejoined by Justin Hykel. And I am now joined, making his debut on the show as an analyst / co-host now.
Yes.
Brandon
I've upgraded.
Brooks. Yes. Well, you came at the right time. We got our new equipment.
I know.
We're inside Northern Superior Brewing
very
Company.
Professional.
Oh, we try to be once in a while. I know I don't dress the part all the time. But Brandon, how you doing, pal?
I'm doing great, thank you.
And if anyone wants to know if I call him Brooksy, I got to go by the nickname. That won't change. I don't want to keep calling him Brandon all show. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Just so everybody
I'm fine
knows.
with Brooksy.
There you go. That works. So now, and here in part 2, we're going to talk everything NHL. Like we said off the top, it's going to be basically an entire hockey episode of the Game Sports Show, as we did talk about baseball yesterday. On Wednesday, we talked about basketball, we talked about football, we talked all the other sports yesterday from Sports Center. You can check that out with me, Justin, and Matt, and Tom. So we're going to stick to everything hockey. So before we get into some professional news, I want to go about Brooksy's path. Obviously, he's been a guest on the show. You can hear his intro at some times where it says professional hockey player Brandon Brooks. You're listening to the Game Sports Show. His voice was on that, and we still use that, obviously. So, Brooksy, you've played hockey. You know how it all goes. We just watched a video of you having the 11th ranked fight of all time. I want you to tell the listeners about it.
Well, that was a fight with, he actually ended up being a buddy of mine, Rick Rippin. Mm-hmm. So I guess they did a huge vote on hockeyfights.com there, and that's how it is. They become the 11th
ranked fight ever Brandon Brooks is a part of.
Did you get like a plaque or anything?
No, I didn't get anything.
No,
that's bullshit.
Sore hand.
And you had to participate. That's
how tough of a bastard was he?
He was very tough and a really kind guy, and it's definitely missed, but
definitely
he was a true warrior, that's for sure.
And now you also fought Jordan Tutu.
Yeah, I had a little stint with him a few times. He's a tough guy.
Was your mind going Tutu at that time, or what?
Yeah. You know what? Back then, it didn't matter who. It was all about scoring goals and throwing fists.
Definitely. Now, you obviously had professional level hockey with the AHL. You were involved in the Red Wings organization. You played overseas. Obviously, you had some great outcomes overseas. You've basically traveled the world, which is fantastic. So tell us about, give those some of the listeners. You can listen to a previous edition with Brooksy as last summer, I believe it was. Not this past summer. The one before that, we were at Silver Creek, and we were enjoying some wings. I played golf with you and your father. And God, did I.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, you were playing pretty good.
Standard McCaig.
I think it was 137. I think it was the score.
I shot a 137 in 9 holes. Talk about your experiences overseas, Quinn.
Yeah, it was great. I was very fortunate to head over there, and it was so great to play in Switzerland there in the top league in the NLA, and I was able to be a part of Team Canada there at the Spangler Cup a couple times. Right. So it was a great experience, and I was over there for I think 12, 13 years, and it was one of the best decisions I made when I left North America.
Now, you played with Britain too, right? And
I did.
You played with Perlini on that team?
Yeah, I won. I was, it was a great group of guys, and I was part of winning gold in Group 1B, then winning gold in Group 1A, and to get them to the big show, which was this year. And unfortunately, I had retired, so I missed out on it. But I was a big part, and I was very grateful to be a part of it.
Definitely. Now you have twins.
I do
as well, Bo and Cruz.
I do.
Definitely some amazing sons you got there. We had time with them at the fair this past year.
Yes, we did.
How are the kids doing?
They're doing great.
Definitely.
They're getting bigger and keeping me more and more busy.
Yep. And now we're playing against each other in the Mayor's Cup this year, and
it's going to be tough.
We should drop the mitts out there. You'd absolutely kick my ass. It'd be absolutely hilarious.
You guys should drop the mitts.
It would be the number one worst ranked hockey fight, because I would be turtling on the ice. I have my set sight on another team to fight this year, and I know they're probably going to hear me say that, and that's totally fine. But now we, overall, Brooksy, very happy able to be on our staff. We got a ever stacked staff, like we see now, especially with yourself and Craig Hartsburg being a part of the show and everyone that takes part in it. So we're going to talk in with hockey with you a lot and on scene with stuff, and I know you're going to get a lot of players on the show that you played with. And Trevor couldn't make it on today, unfortunately, at a last-minute cancellation, but we'll get him on going in the future. So we're going to jump in and talk about some National Hockey League stuff with Matthew Tkachuk, Brayden Point's contract, a team that you're familiar with, Brooksy, Steve Yzerman, which we talked about on Tuesday on TV, just where you think he's going to, how he's going to do in Detroit as a GM. And then also we're going to get into some teams that we think are going to be surprises this year. Just a bunch of roundtable discussion in that aspect, as we might not have time to do a roundtable today in full, but we'll get into a hockey roundtable at least here. So I'm going to actually go over to you first, Justin, talk about Matthew Tkachuk getting that annual average hit of $7 million, 3 years, very similar contract to Brayden Point's.
I think that it kind of blows me out of the water that he got a little bit more money than Brayden Point. And to be honest, I think Brayden Point's value just far surpasses anything Tkachuk offers. I mean, Point can play center, he can play either wing.
Yeah. Smaller, does it make him being smaller? Is that why? Or because of the impact that Tkachuk potentially has playing on Calgary is different than Points?
I think Tkachuk got paid a little bit for name as well.
Yep.
That helps Calgary in the jersey sale market.
Yeah.
It's a business too, right?
It is.
Also, Tkachuk's playing in Canada. So his tax is a lot higher. I mean, like that Point deal is a lot better than
tax-free in Florida.
A lot of people think it is.
Yeah, Brooksy, over to you with Tkachuk. Overpaid. What do you think of the deal?
Well, that's a lot of money. So he's definitely proved himself. He does have a great name. You know what I mean? It doesn't hurt. Having a name like Tkachuk, and I was fortunate. I was a part of St. Louis for a few years, so I met his dad a few times.
Tough man.
Oh yeah, he always walked around in a red house coat throughout the dressing room. But he's definitely proven himself, and obviously you see the contracts over the last few years, they've just been going up and up. So
is that projection? Do you think the cap's going to eventually go up, or do you think it's ever going to go up from what it is? Because the NHL might hit a $90 million cap soon. I think it's just above 80 right now. I can't see it going above 90 because then you're hitting the times of where it used to be before, of why they instilled the cap.
But there's going to be a bump again once the Seattle team.
See, that's what it goes by, right? Is the business aspect.
So because there was a bump, after Vegas' first season, there was a lot of profit there. The league did good, and if Seattle does all right, there should be another bump. But I mean, you can't just keep adding teams to keep bumping. I mean, eventually there has to be a plateau point.
Now you have these bridge deals, though, with Tkachuk and Point, right? These are bridge contracts. Mitch Marner didn't get that. Mitch Marner got 10.893. Of course, 93 had to be in there. I got to point that out every time. For 6 years. Obviously, if Tkachuk would have got 6 years, he probably would have gotten 9 or 10 as well, which he's not worth Mitch Marner money, in my opinion. Brayden Point actually puts up the argument that he might be worth Mitch Marner money because he gets the same amount of points as Mitch Marner does. Better team, I will say, even though Toronto's a very good hockey team, obviously, me being a fan of them. But you have Tampa Bay, that's the best team in the National Hockey League, even going into this year. So would Brayden Point be able to put up those numbers elsewhere, though? Yes, absolutely he would. He has that talent, that skill. And I really think Brayden Point, he could have also gotten more on the market, but you're stuck. When you're an RFA, they hold your rights for a year, or they keep it for your RFAs done. It's complicated. So these bridge deals, you got to think that Tkachuk and Point may not be staying beyond their contracts. And here's why I say that. When a player signs a bridge deal, I think of Nazem Kadri. Okay, the Leafs gave that guy bridge deal twice. They gave him a bridge deal. And now he's been traded to Colorado. He was a big part of Toronto for years. And Riley's the only remaining guy left from that 2013 disaster in Boston. So I think with Brayden Point, when he hits the open market, he won't be necessarily the open market in 3 years, but he will be demanding 10 plus. Tampa will not be able to afford that at that time, potentially. Tkachuk, same deal. With these bridge deals, it's a risk that teams are taking, Justin, with these bridge deals. This star, most likely, at least 60%, in my opinion, may not be returning to that team after the bridge deal is done.
Some of these teams are in a position where they can only sign the bridge deal. I mean, not a lot of people have, or not a lot of teams have the ability, like the Toronto Maple Leafs, number one, to dole out these contracts, but pay out the initial upfront for those contracts.
Yep.
I mean, you got to think, you still got to cut a check that day. Yep. I mean, some teams just don't have that. I mean, look at the Florida Panthers paying out Bobrovsky day one. Do you think they'd have the money day two to cut another check for someone?
Probably not.
They're selling tickets. They're selling a box seat for $400, and they give you hot dogs. Like
they give you a deal. See now, and when you were playing, Brooksy, contracts are so much different.
Oh yeah, they were pretty much set in stone.
Pretty much, and they're obviously the salary cap wasn't really implemented till the previous lockout. So you have right now an NHL that's so much different, and I really think that I kind of miss that old school thing where you didn't really have a cap, but I also like it because they didn't have teams like Toronto and these teams just buy in their talent. Look at the Wings in the early thousands with Brett Hall, Luke Robitaille, Yzerman, Shanahan. Yeah. You can't build a team like the Wings that you can't.
But you also need to have, you can't do that because you want all the teams. There's so many more teams now. You need to compete.
Yeah.
And you can't have one team. Yeah, absolutely. And Who knows if it's going to change, but I doubt it.
No, see, now the open market, you still have Mikko Rantanen on it, and the best contract in the National Hockey League for forward is Nathan McKinnon's by far. The guy's getting $6.3 million for another handful of years, and he's probably one of the best goal scorers in the league. And Colin Miller, obviously friend of the show and friend of all of us, here, so he has said the toughest player to play against is not just Crosby or McDavid, it's McKinnon.
Oh, yeah, for
so
sure.
Colorado's loving that, but Mikko Rantanen still remains on the market. That beauty from Finland, Patrick Laine, who still remains on the market. Winnipeg, everyone's falling like a sack of potatoes. Everyone's just falling apart there. It's insane. Bufflin wants to probably retire. Trouba's gone. Pretty soon you might get Blake Wheeler or Mark Scheifele requesting a trade. I feel bad for Paul Maurice over there, but these RFAs, they're demanding a lot of money, and I think Mitch Marner, Brooksy, set the tone for that.
He definitely did, and he waited out a little bit, and,
and he got it.
Yeah, he got what he wanted, and I think it was a deal that I think it's going to work out for Toronto and the fans, and I think Toronto is one of the greatest places to play.
It is, and you have Mikko Rantanen that you can't say that he's not worth what Mitch Marner is either. So Colorado's like, okay, we'll give you $10.693 million or $10.893 million, but then you still have younger guys there. Kyle McCarr, Connor Timmins is back. Everyone's forgetting about Connor Timmins is going to be a stud, I think, in the National Hockey League, former Greyhound. You have some young talent there in Colorado.
I just think Colorado's in a bad position with that contract negotiation. I mean, you have McKinnon, who's getting paid what he's getting paid, and you're going to have to pay Rantanen, who's an RFA. You got to pay him almost double.
That might be a positive or a negative for Colorado. But hey, we're paying McKinnon $6.3 when he had to sign his contract. What makes you think you're worth $10 because you're comparable to this guy? And Rantanen would be like, yes. If I was Joe Sakic, I wouldn't bite. He has a lot of trade value, Rantanen, too. Might not be a bad idea. If you don't have him playing in the lineup, you know what happened to William Nylander last year when he didn't play till December? The guy was dust. That's the word I want to use. He was a joke all year.
He wasn't good.
Then he played in the World Championships. Then he was like he was playing against Pee-wee teams out there. He was lighting it up.
Because he changed his number.
Yeah, now he's number 88. He thinks he's Patrick Kane. But now, moving on from the RFA situation, quickly, I'll get around the table. Do you think both Laine and Rantanen will sign before season starts, Brooksy?
No.
Which one doesn't, or both of them don't?
I don't think either one of them do.
Either one of them. Hike.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, Laine was apologizing to teammates in the media today, but I don't know if that's to kind of save face, to look good for other teams, or I don't see either of them signing. I think there's going to be a stubborn streak there.
I think Rantanen will, Laine won't.
Well, they're running out of time.
Yeah, they are. And Laine is literally, I think he's just, I don't think he's as good as everyone thinks he's going to be.
I don't know. These guys are really jacking up my fantasy hockey draft this weekend, though.
Now, moving on to Steve Yzerman quickly, Brooksy, I want to give the floor to you here because Justin and I did touch on this. Steve Yzerman's first year in the National Hockey League as a GM for the Red Wings.
Yeah.
Not his first year as a GM. He obviously had a lot of success in Tampa, goes without saying. Goes back home, quote unquote, to where he's played his entire career. One of the best leaders of all time. You got when you were in the Detroit Red Wings system, he was a part of that, I believe, correct?
Yeah, he was the director of player development then.
There you go. So him being a GM, number one, obviously a great move, goes without saying, but will he be able to turn that around, hockey in Detroit?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's going to be able to do it for sure. He's hardworking. He's got a lot of all his pride's in Detroit, and I just think what he did in Tampa was great, and I think he knows something has to change in Detroit right now. What's happened the last few years should never happen. Yeah. But it has, and I think bringing him in is the right move. And a lot of guys want to come in and not only play for him, but even having him a part of it. He's one of the biggest names in hockey, and why wouldn't you want to be a part of it?
Is it going to be immediate? Do you think the change is it going to be evident immediately, or is it going to take time, like Toronto did, for example?
I think everything takes time, but it's about putting things in place so that starts to happen.
And Yzerman's definitely a great guy to do it, but it's Jeff Blashill, who's a Sioux, Michigan resident, so obviously not bashing Blashill. Is he going to be able to be the guy, or do you think there might be a coaching change there in Detroit eventually?
Well, they're definitely going to give him a shot, and we'll see what happens. I think he's going to be there, and
I think the biggest issue in Detroit's been their goaltending. Jimmy Howard, John Bernier, you've had Corot there, sorry. Yeah. You've had a revolving door there in Detroit.
Didn't they just extend Jimmy Howard again, too?
No, did they?
Well, the thing is,
confirmed yet?
Let me look that up.
Yeah. Well, I played with Jimmy, and he was our goalie in Grand Rapids. he's a hard-working goalie. You know, he's getting older now, definitely.
Yeah.
But the thing is about Detroit in the past, it wasn't really about the goaltending. The goaltending was good, but their defense was so good.
Mr. Mafalski.
You know, it made it so much better. And, you know, the goalie just had to make that first save. And, you know, but, you know, right now, you know, they do need a goalie.
They do. And Cronwall retires this year. Obviously, that guy is a brick wall back there. Like, it's insane. You have the original OGs, we like to call them. They're starting to move out. And I think Detroit, I'm a big fan of moving out veterans. I think you should keep one or two. One veteran on D or goalie, which is the same in my mind in terms of keeping them in respective, the one veteran forward, which is why I think Detroit should really explore moving their veterans out and even take a look at Patrick Marleau. Patrick Marleau is not playing anywhere right now. He's apparently been in talk with San Jose. Hasn't worked out. He's a veteran leader. I think you can get some interest for him at the deadline, especially a little bit of maybe a third or second round pick, something you never know. I think someone like Patrick Marleau would be a good fit in Detroit right now to work with the young guys.
For sure, and I think the price would be right because I think he'd be worth more than what he'll get.
Exactly. He might get maybe $1 million, 1.5 this year to play in Detroit. He goes there, plays in the top two lines, helps mold the young guys. Look what he did for Marner and Matthews in Toronto. Maybe we're going to get to Matthews in just a few moments. Maybe he didn't really help Matthews out too much. But obviously, you know, he had a big effect on the guys in the locker room in Toronto because they're sad he's gone. Very sad he's gone. He's a leader, and I think, you know, you have Cronwall, whose big leadership presence is out of the locker room now. Yeah. So and
they need somebody to come in.
I don't think Dylan Larkin's the type of guy I don't see leadership mentality in Dylan Larkin. I really don't. I just see that arrogance. I'm going to be honest, that arrogance. He's a 20 million times better hockey player than I am, but I'm just going to say that I think you need to have leadership in place. So you need that veteran there when you have a bunch of young guys. You just, you know, it just makes sense for Marleau to be that fit there. Just like San Jose with Joe Thornton returning there. Love that, you know, but they've also lost some key pieces there with Joe Pavelski going to Dallas.
Well, to me, Dylan Larkin's still too young.
Yeah.
To be that. Yeah. He's just too young right now. Yeah, he's just too young right now, you know, maybe in time, but they need somebody to come in and mold who's going to be that next captain there.
It could be Marleau, and then you also have Dion Phaneuf who's looking for a spot. Detroit needs to fill out spots, just put guys in there.
Not Phaneuf. I don't think that's going to help. No. You know what I mean? Like, how many teams has he been on the last few years? And he's been struggling everywhere he's gone. And
I think the game has kind of gone past him now.
Yeah, he's never had. He doesn't have quick feet. You know what I mean? And the game right now is speed, and that's one thing he doesn't have. And, you know, there's no holding anymore. You can't hold the guy up once he chips the puck. There's so many rules like that now.
You know,
so you got to be able to move.
That's what he's going to do. That's his move every single time. He's going to pinch, and he's going to blow it.
And a very interesting player that's available is Jesse Puljujarvi from the Edmonton Oilers. I think someone like a Steve Yzerman or even a Wilson in San Jose would like to take that as a project. Yzerman be a different project because it's a rebuild phase where San Jose is more of a championship team. But I think Edmonton's going to move out Jesse Puljujarvi. I think Edmonton's a mess. Edmonton is just a mess. I don't even want to touch Edmonton.
That's a mess with so much talent.
Oh, so much talent. Yeah,
it's frustrating to look at it.
Until they get that back end sorted, I think that's where their weakness is. You know, the goaltending.
Darnell Nurse needs to have, you know, some. He can't just be the only guy back there. And Larson hasn't lived up to what he was. You trade Larson for Hall. That's one of the worst trades. You know, Hall's.
I just think they need some veteran experience on the back end. There's not. Yep. There's not really a calming presence there. It seems like when something goes sideways, it's sideways. And there's no bringing it back.
No, and Edmonton always gets the brunt of shit. They have Smith there, obviously, this year, add to the veteran. Koskinen, they paid him so much money before they let Chiarelli go. Edmonton's just a disaster, and I can't wait till Dane's back to fully dissect that. But I want to go around the table now, fellas. David McCaig, Brendan Brooks, and Justin Hykel here at North Superior Brewing Company. Come check out some of their lager. It's absolutely delicious. Nice and cold. Blake Winter does a great job at that. And Trevor Zachary, thank you for everything you do for the show. I want to say about teams that you guys think are going to be a surprise this year. Brooksy, I'm going to go to you first. In the National Hockey League, what team are you going to think is going to be a surprise or that you have your eyes looked at?
Well, my eyes are on Buffalo. You know, I really, it's, you know, I grew up in St. Catharines. You know, I always, even though I'm a Toronto fan a bit, I've always went to Buffalo games, you know. Yeah. My dad was season ticket holder of the Buffalo Sabres.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you know, for me, you know, I mean, like, I really want to see Buffalo do well.
Colin Miller being there, too.
Yeah, exactly. So he's a friend of ours, obviously, and, you know, you want him to do well and be a part of a good team again and get that chance at the Stanley Cup.
When we were there, we're going Family Day weekend to see the Leafs in Buffalo, so we're going to have to talk. We're going to go down together, check out Brooksy and with Miller there. So, Hike, I'll go over to you. Brooksy says Buffalo. Who do you have? I know you might have a couple teams in mind.
Well, I got a couple. I mean, I'm not going to go with the earlier discussed one. I'm going to get roasted for that one.
You're not going with the Senators?
No, I'm not
I was hoping you were, man. I was ready. I was ready for that.
I got too many people know that I'm a diehard Leaf fan to toss the Senators a bone like that.
Yeah, don't toss them. It's almost worse than tossing Montreal a bone if you're a Leaf fan. If you're a Leaf fan, I shouldn't say that as a host of a show.
I don't know. A team I'm interested to watch this year is Chicago. Strome there, Perlini there. They've had a full offseason there. I mean, DeBrincat's was awesome last year. You still got Kane. You still got Taves. Goaltending might be... I mean, Robin Leonard's there.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm interested, but... And totally different division, so it works for me.
See, I'm going to go the route of the Dallas Stars. I'm interested where Dallas is because of the veteran presence that they have added and some of the subtractions that they have made. And Ben Bishop is actually a very good goalie. He was actually ranked top 3 for fantasy goalies, as was released by NHL Report today. And I really don't think he is a top 3 goalie, in my opinion. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. But again, this guy does put up, when he's healthy, very good numbers, and he's a big goalie.
He's real big.
He's a real big guy. He's 6'7" off ice. On skates, I guess he'd be 6'10".
He's huge.
6'11".
Not much net.
No, definitely not. I don't know.
But when he's healthy, you know what I mean. If he's staying, like he's a real good goalie, you know.
And I think Dallas is a team that can be really competitive. You got Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin. And as soon as the owner called them out last year, it's like Seguin and Benn said "fuck you" to him and just did what they wanted, and it worked. It worked, and they're a team that I have my eye on this year for sure. And another team that's in our division, if you're a Leaf fan speaking right now, the Florida Panthers. They made a lot of splashes in the offseason, a lot of changes. They're trying to change that hockey market in Florida. I know some people, including my girlfriend, that went to see Florida this year. There was like nobody in the stands. It's tough. It is. And I like how Barkov goes up to the podium and says, "Oh, there's more people here than there is at a Florida game."
They need a retractable roof.
Oh, yeah, just open it up. Florida's just craving for change ever since John Van Briesbroek was in there when they made the Cup Finals, and just hasn't been great. They made the playoffs that one year against New Jersey. They didn't get past the first round. It's a market in Florida, though, where you're going against Toronto, Tampa, Boston. You're going against Montreal last year was impressive. I don't know if they'll be able to do the same thing this year, but you have a tough Atlantic division, which is hard for Florida. But I'm definitely very interested in Dallas this year. I think they can just do some wonders this year.
Yeah, when I said my eyes on Buffalo, Buffalo. I don't think they're going to be the team that's going to win it.
No.
But my eyes on them because I really want them to do well.
Are they a playoff team?
I'd really like to think so. You know, if they get everybody and keep everybody healthy, you know, the potential is there.
I think so.
They had a really awesome first half last year, and then just it seemed after Christmas, that was it.
Right.
Yeah. Now, fellas, going into our last part of tonight's show, didn't forget Auston Matthews. First off, 2 weeks ago, we're talking about this guy being a captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs and leaked pictures. Those pictures got deleted so quick. I was just watching Goodfellas the other day, and I just think of the Toronto Mafia when I think of that, because I think that's how it goes in Toronto. If anything gets leaked, you either got a chance to delete that or you're never thought of again. That's just that's kind of how, in my opinion, it goes. So that got erased pretty quick. So when someone says in the Toronto Superiors, where they said they learned through Twitter or that they learned through something else that this was happening, I have respect for Dubas, and I hope he doesn't hear me say this, but I call bullshit on that. I think they knew this was happening, and I think they just didn't do anything about it, and they kept it quiet, and it was kept quiet, then something just exploded. Someone heard something. I've seen the other side of the business as a coach. You want to keep things quiet as best as you possibly can, and I think Toronto has the power to be able to do that. Not saying that they went and pulled guns to anybody's heads. Not saying that, but I think they kept it quiet and tried to deal with it as best they could, and it's something that didn't happen in the agreement side. Then this girl came out and threatened and said, "Screw it, I'm just going to tell the world everything." So for them to say that they didn't know, I don't believe it. And for all of a sudden his captain pictures that leaked to get erased quickly and everything, it seems all fishy to me.
Yeah, well, you know what? I have to disagree a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't think they did know because, sometimes as players or whatever, you try to keep it in team, keep the office out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe that might have been part of why it took so long or whatever. They were trying to do it themselves.
Brendan Shanahan liked the Twitter report.
Well, yeah, that's one of the most passive-aggressive things I've ever seen.
I don't know if he liked it. I bet you he looked and said, I can just see his face. I can just picture his face.
But back in the day, people would who knows what would have happened actually. But
no, and we're not going to jump. Obviously, you play, and I know you. Everyone has stories at this table. But
it's a shame for Toronto, that it's happened right now, and hopefully, I think they're handling it as best they can.
Yeah, I think so. Especially Dubas is doing a good job. I like what he says in the media. He just goes, I just found out through Twitter. I had no idea.
Well, I mean, I'm with Brooksy on this one. I honestly don't think they knew. Judging by how mad Dubas looked in the press conference, and to be completely honest, if you look at his press conferences with other players and about other players, he often stands in front and will take a lot of the beating from the media about players.
About it.
And then he just kind of let Matthews, all right, you can answer this one.
Yeah, you can deal
today.
with this. And so if anyone doesn't know what he's doing, he apparently, and Justin, when he was outside, there's so many different kind of stories.
Well, you can go on TMZ and watch all the videos.
Yeah, so apparently he pulled down his pants, mooned a girl after trying to get into their Uber, and it was in Arizona that he did this. And he was obviously intoxicated and had a night out a couple weeks after the Boston Bruins series. He's home seeing his friends. Listen, when at my current age, I should say, I still like to party rock, I like to call it. So would I go moon somebody? Probably not. That would not be on my agenda, I don't think. Anyways.
It wouldn't be talked about if you did.
I don't think. No, it wouldn't be. It would just be maybe on an outlet in the Soo saying, Soo guy moons somebody. Yeah. But that's all I would say.
Who is it? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Who cares? Then you get the mean comments.
Did he steal anything?
No.
Did he? It's not a big deal.
But does this, going around the table, does this ruin his captaincy chances?
No,
I
don't. I really don't think so. He's still young too. He's really young, and it's a mistake. He's going to learn I think Babcock said he's going to learn from it, and he really is.
Good coach,
because
Babcock,
I guarantee you, he'll never do something like this again. I promise you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something could have been a lot worse than that, and
there's other charges that we hear of professional athletes that are a lot worse.
There's I don't know, and I mean there's a lot of different opinions out there, and I mean you can get roasted for saying the boys will be boys nowadays. But I honestly think this is just I don't want to say harmless again because you can get roasted for that, but I think it's it's a teachable moment.
Yeah,
I mean and a player at his caliber should be able to learn from this and move on.
Yeah.
And
he's going to rebound, and then he's going to hold himself accountable, and he's going to start to hold his teammates accountable
as well.
And and he can say, "This is what happened through my experience."
And there's always two sides to the story. We're just hearing what the girl said, and obviously in the report leaked, it shows that he had actions of such, so it's kind of hard to say. But again,
someone found it going through the court dockets in Arizona. I mean, I read the Sault Ste. Marie ones a couple times a week just to see what's going on, to see who's getting charged, see what's up. And that's probably what happened, and someone just recognized the name.
Yeah.
I mean, to someone in Arizona, no one cares if you're looking and see Auston Matthews was charged with something.
I'm sure you've had party rock times overseas and when you played, Brooksy.
Yeah, I was always good at picking my spots.
Avoided the papers.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the whole point. You're going to be young or older. It doesn't matter what age you are. You're going to have a good time. But it's just a matter of containing yourself. And when you're in that limelight, especially in Toronto, you got to take it. You're getting about
you're under a microscope.
You're getting $11 million. It's worth being under that microscope. Almost. I'm not sure. This is me talking where I don't make $11 million a year. I make
how does
10.95 less than that. Okay, so I can say right now that it must be tough for athletes because you still want to have fun. But in Arizona, or it doesn't matter if you're in Tucson or if you're in Mexico, it doesn't matter. You're going to get found and things are going to get leaked.
How does Dubas feel, though? He sits there and Larry Tannenbaum walks in your office and says, hey, you just gave this guy $11 million a year of my money.
Yeah.
And he's out there mooning people. And you got to answer a question about something you have no idea about, and this guy's getting paid probably triple what you are.
Well, when he scores 50 goals.
Yeah, 100%.
And we'll be like, what did we talk about earlier in the year?
That's a very easily forgiven one, as long as he doesn't tweet his way off the team. Or
No. Now, that was our last topic that we're going to jump into. I'm going to go around the table, fellas. Do you have any last topic things you want to bring to the table, Brooksy, on your debut show?
No, I'm pretty good right now. I've been liking the flow. You know what I mean? You've got good flow right now.
I got good
flow. I'm impressed. From last year, you've come a long way, my friend.
Oh, okay. I'll take the
headsets.
I think that's what it is. It's so professional right now.
Yeah, we don't have to lean in on a microphone or a cell phone.
Don't have a phone on a cup.
2015, we had to hold a microphone on a cup and go around the table and talk. Thank you, ESPN 1400 and Soo Online, for recognizing us and improving us. It's definitely great stuff. So, Justin, how about you? Anything?
I don't really have much. I mean, I'm excited to see what the outcome of the Thunderbirds game is this weekend, and tomorrow night especially, and the Soo Saginaw game, Greyhound Saginaw game Saturday. But
I do got one thing. I'm going to throw you. Oh, you got one thing.
I do got one thing. Okay. I was just thinking about it. I heard you talk earlier about your family listening or whatever and being a part and supporting. Back in the day, my grandparents, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
When I was playing junior in Caledon for the Caledon Canadians back in the day, Dana Zubris was my teammate back then. And my grandparents made it to one more game than our team did. Because we got snowed in and couldn't go. They made it. They went to every single game, didn't miss one. And they made it to one more than the team.
Oh, my God.
Now, that is support.
That's a good one.
I'm expecting their support on the show now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got to let them know.
I like that. Now, I do got one thing. I'm going to throw you guys right under the bus on this, so good luck. So I don't blame you guys if you mess up. Thumbs up and thumbs down for the week in terms of sports or overall in anything. I'll start you up with I want to go thumbs up to the overall season of the Blue Jays rookies. Obviously, there's still some games left to go on in the year. I got to say, I want to give them a thumbs up. Vlad Jr., Bichette, Biggio. Transitioning from hockey here, obviously, as I did promise a hockey show, but thumbs up and thumbs down is different. But with the Blue Jays, I'm impressed about what they've done. Shapiro and Atkins, I like the trade they got for Stroman. I like what they got for Sanchez. I can't believe I'm freaking saying that because I chirped Atkins and Shapiro to no end. So my thumbs up is actually, despite not making the playoffs, as everyone thinks that's success, this year is success for the Jays. And if everyone thinks it isn't, then you're not a true sports knowledge individual.
I'll give them a thumbs up as well.
That's your thumbs up?
I actually think they got a potential, with these young guys.
3 years,
They have some really good young players coming up and hitting the ball, and, I think they brought them up too late, some of them.
So that's your thumbs up.
I'll agree with it.
You're stealing that?
I'll steal it for right now.
Oh, okay, I'll let you think. I'm going to go back
I'm going to get another one.
I like that. My thumbs down this week that I'm going to go to is actually to Auston Matthews. Doing what he did and it finally getting leaked out.
Surprise.
I went to the easy route on that one because I usually don't got too much negative. I like to keep it positive. But thumbs down just for his actions. I don't think it's going to really lead to much. Maybe a minor charge or maybe just a little slap on the wrist or whatever it may be. But nonetheless, when you're in the limelight, you got to be mature. But you have to have these things happen in order to mature, I think. Even though this is an extreme, sometimes if you're not mature enough, I'm not saying he's not mature enough, but when you have some of this big stuff happen, it needs to happen for you to change, especially when you're in the Toronto media. Justin, I'm going to you next for your thumbs up and thumbs down. I'm expecting some stutters and ums right now.
You really took the good ones. So,
he did take a good one.
I'm going to give a thumbs up to the remaining teams in the NFL that didn't sign Antonio Brown this week.
Wow.
Keeping him out of my notifications.
Okay.
I mean, aside from today, but that was a good one. Eric Weddle let him have it. That was awesome.
I love that. Thumbs down? I put you right on the spot.
Thumbs down. I'm not really... thumbs down to Monday Night Football.
Oh, for this past Monday Night Football.
It's been a letdown all season, but again, thumbs down. Thursday Night Football is kicking your ass.
Okay, Thursday Night Football is happening tonight. The game tonight is
Packers and Eagles.
Packers and Eagles tonight. That's right. You might be watching.
I'm sure there's a score update right now.
I'll let you get that up before we go. Brooksy, I'm back to you, buddy. Thumbs up, thumbs down. What do you got?
I got. We'll do well. I'm a thumbs up to the Tkachuk contact.
Okay.
I'm a big. I think that's going to be big for them.
Who's better, his brother or him? Brady or Matt? If you had to choose, who are you taking?
Deep down, Brady.
You taking Brady?
Yep.
Okay. Next, thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of what I think I lost. I think I actually lost some money in the last week's bet.
In last week's bet?
Yeah.
I was going to say, how about thumbs down for you being ranked 11th and not first for that fight?
I'll go with that.
You want that?
I don't know how I was going to beat Probert, but no. You know what?
Top
just
10
even
would have been
top 10 would have been really good. But
I think
you know what? I'll take 11th to start.
It's like being the 11th most wanted person in the world. Wouldn't you want to be the 10th? It just makes sense. My last little comment is I'm going to give a bonus thumbs up to Brayden Brooks, his debut show on the Game Sports Show. Happy that you're aboard. We had you on the show.
That should have been my thumbs up.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go that route. We had you on the show since June as an analyst and host. We couldn't really work anything out. You've been real busy, and we're happy to get you on now. I know it's going to be a busy year for the show. We'll have you on lots here on location at North Superior, on location at places, also when we get some guests on, etc. Very much looking forward to that. But I want to say, go to the sign-off point. Brooksy, I will see you on the show here. I'll see you on the ice, texting you, all the fun stuff. But thanks for coming up on tonight, my friend.
All right, thanks for having me.
Of course. Hike, of course, as always. You don't even need a sign-off. You're up 4 times a week.
Is it inappropriate to modify my thumbs down? A late thumbs down?
I'll let you.
I just saw the Super Bowl halftime show was announced.
Oh, shit. J-Lo and Shakira. Yeah, that's right.
Can I add that as my thumbs down?
That's
yeah, you know what? We're going to jump in on that on Monday and Tuesday. Shakira.
I know.
Her hips don't lie. No, was that? Is that her? Hips don't lie?
Just play the music video like 3 times over and then call it a halftime. I got some people
here at Northern saying, yes, that's her. Shakira, hips don't lie. And J-Lo, she's going to get on the floor. Apparently, it's Super Bowl. Yeah, it's not good. You know what? Where's Ed Sheeran and that new album that he released? Why not get Ed Sheeran out there? Because Eminem would be there, 50 Cent would be there, Khalid would be there, Cardi B would be there. Who else? That'd be such a wicked show. Come on, NFL, get with it.
I don't know. I have nothing to offer because I don't know half of those things that you just named.
Oh, not everyone listens to Metallica only, Justin.
Wow.
Jesus.
I mean, most of my music, like my library stops at about 89.
Dave McCaig, Justin Hykel, Brayden Brooks, his debut show with the Game Sports Show. I want to thank you to Alex Parr as well for being a part of the show on the local side. Scott Nason being our board operator tonight. Yours truly being the assistant board op. Soo Online, on TV, ESPN, ESPN 1400, Sovereign Communications, Northern Superior Brewing Company, where we are currently, Sports Center Bar and Grill, Icebreaker Sports Bar and Grill, Discover the Canvas, The Salon, Superior Pro Shop, Big Brother, Big Sister, Northern Critters in Need, and North Shore Sports and Auto. And speaking of North Shore Sports and Auto, we got a big announcement coming in the coming weeks about next summer. Yes, I'm already talking about next summer. We got a big thing going on, a big contest. I don't know if that's the right word I should use. I know Ryan and Jordan might send me a message after saying it might not be the right word to use, but I'm going to use it, and I just did. So I want to thank you to all the sponsors on the Game Sports Show. And if you want to support the Game Sports Show as a sponsor, have an ad on our website or on Soo Online or through ESPN 1400 on our Podbean page, through Spotify, which Leak announced that we're hoping to get on Spotify in the coming weeks, as well as Apple Podcasts and everything. So you could be involved in the show. Don't hesitate to reach out to the show through Facebook or yours truly to talk and how you can get on. And if you reach out to me, I have now a 15% off discount that I can offer you towards a sponsorship, and you get on all those amazing platforms locally in terms of promotion, which is better than any other deal that you'll come across. There's my sales pitch. Did you like that?
I did like it.
You did
I
like
mean,
it?
You snuck it
like
in there.
I said,
I didn't even feel like it. Yeah.
I'm more confident. Might be the setting. Might be the beers.
Or the girlfriend.
Oh, wow. You went there.
He's aiming to impress.
Yeah,
no pressure.
I'm wearing burgundy pants and a black and gray shirt. Bad radio to explain your clothing, but I'd have to say that I'm aiming to impress yet. Especially since he's coming to watch my Mayor's game tonight. Yikes. I haven't skated since Mayor's finals. I still have the same skates. The Reebok whites, they broke. The tucks are broke. I'm still using them tonight, by the way. But nonetheless, Dave McCaig, Brayden Brooks, Justin Hykel, we're signing off today's show. We will be on location everywhere this weekend. Soo Greyhounds, covering the college Cougars, Algoma University, Sault Thunderbirds, Eagles, Beavers, also covering LSSU news when it comes up and everything. We're covering everything this year, so make sure you follow us here on the Game Sports Show. And don't forget to check out high school football. It's always fantastic as well. You can listen to the show on thegamesportshow.com and through our many social media and social media platforms at the Game Sports Show. Thanks for listening, and I'm here to remind you to keep your stick on the ice, swing your bat, catch your touchdown, train your threes, and shoot your shots. Booyah.